The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and future. And a very happy Tuesday to you all. My name is Ron Juckett, and I think we got ourselves, well, we're going to see the Red Sox game today, and there's nothing ever wrong with that. So before we get into the specifics between Steve Trout and Chuck Rainey, who are going to face off at Fenway Park, let's go through the rest of the day, this Wednesday in baseball, this 14th day of April. Phillies beat the Mets 6-3. Dick Ruthven gets his first win. Phillies go to 2-4. Mets are 2-5. Bob Dernier 3-for-3 with 2 RBI and a triple. The Indians win their first game of the year. They're only 2 out of first, but they're only 1-3. John Denny shuts out the Brewers 2-0. Bake McBride, I forgot he played for the Indians, 2-for-3 with a triple. You saw Atlanta and Cincinnati. The Braves won yesterday 4-3. Steve Bedrosian gets the most unlikely of win. Al Hrabosky gets the save. Tom Hume blows it for the Reds. Cardinals are off to a flying 6-2 start. They double the Cubs 8-4. Rincon gets the win 1-0. Fergie Jenkins 1-1 on the year now. Org 4-for-4 with 2 RBI and a stolen base. Montreal 4-0 to start off the year. A 5-3 winner over Pittsburgh. Scott Sanderson with his first win of the year. Solomon takes a loss for the Pirates. Andre Dawson hits his first home run in the effort. The Blue Jays shut out the Tigers 3-0. Jim Clancy with a win, 2-0 on the year. Dan Petrie with a loss, he's 0-2. And John Walkenfuss, 2 doubles in a losing effort for the Tigers. The Twins are 3-5. They beat Billy Martin's A's 4-1. Havens, that's Brad, not Richie, 1-1. Steve McCaddy goes to 1-1, and Ron Davis got the save. Yankees fall to 2-3 as the Rangers beat them 6-5. Charlie Huff 2-0 on the year. Pacella 0-1. Willie Randolph 2-for-3 with a double. The Dodgers get crushed by the Astros 7-2. Don Sutton beating the Dodgers, something I've never gotten used to. 1-1. Bert Hooten 0-1. And Terry Poole 2-for-2 with 2 stolen bases. Kansas City beats Baltimore 7-6-12. Paul Spludorf gets the win. I can't imagine he pitched all 12 innings. But he might have. Don Stanhouse takes the loss. Earl Weaver smokes another pack. And some kid by the name of Ripken goes 4-for-5 and hits his 4th home run of the year. Mike Witt shuts out the Mariners 1-0. California over Seattle. Reggie Jackson with his 2nd home run, the lone run of the game. And finally, San Francisco over San Diego 4-1. Dan Schatzeder gets the win. Craig Minton gets the save. So the Dodgers have a half-game lead over the Reds and the Braves in the West and the National East. Montreal and St. Louis are tied. St. Louis is 6-2. Montreal 4-0. The Cubs are 1 back in the loss column. And yes, Dave, that is the case. And in the American League West, we're going to see the first-place White Sox. They're 3-0. California 6-2. They lead by half a game. The Red Sox are looking for their first win, and you'll see that in a moment right here on Retro Sports Network. As soon as I confirm something with Mr. Gardner. So you can see this. And Beatles Eternally, Al, how you all doing? I'll look at the messages in a minute. Okay, come on, over here. Over here. Over here. Over here. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. One moment as I confirm a message. Okay. So, on a beautiful 57-degree windy day, come on, you're supposed to be over Only baseball. You are, okay. We bring you to Fenway Park for the Chicago White Sox and the Boston Red Sox. And my gosh, it's been so long since you've seen the White Sox. They've played one game since that doubleheader sweep on Sunday. And the Red Sox have not gotten off to a great start. They're 0-4. And, oh, Beatles is back in the States. Congratulations. And I missed the beginning of everything, so hi, everybody. Good to have you along. So the Red Sox have yet to win this year. The Red Sox are going to be contenders in the American League East, which I remembered, and I didn't remember that from being 10 years old. But we know what didn't happen. And so the White Sox, who are going to be the 83 division champions, are all serious contenders in the West. They swept a doubleheader from the Yankees on Sunday. They came in and took the opener here. And now we're playing the Wednesday afternoon game. 57 degrees, winds are howling out to center field. It's a veritable launch pad at Fenway Park in 57. And on the hill for the Red Sox, okay, rub your rosary, New England. It's Chuck Rainey, who was 7-5 on the real year and a 5.02 ERA. 129 innings, 146 hits, including 14 home runs. He walked 63 and struck out 57. He's good for 105 pitches. Whether that's 3 innings or 6 depends on Mr. Rainey. The lineup he will face, it'll be Ron LaFleur in center, leading off for the White Sox. Tony Bernazard will bat second and play second. And Steve Kemp, the left fielder, bats third. Greg Luzinski, the DH, bats up. Wimpy, John Pachorik, who's hitting 700, gotta love April stats, hitting fifth. Harold Baines, the Hall of Famer, the right fielder, will bat sixth. Carlton Fisk will bat seventh and catch. Jim Morrison, don't you love him madly, the third baseman, will bat eighth. And Billy Allman will be the shortstop and bat ninth. And yeah, it's in the well, yeah. Don't worry about the pictures; those are just cosmetic. And oh, by the way, Mr. Utah, I looked up Dale Murphy, and he is indeed a 10 at center. He didn't play right very often, but I guess he played early, so those numbers are right. Defensively, for the Red Sox, it'll be Jim Rice in left. He's got a 5-arm. Rick Miller is a 7-5 in center, and Dwight is a 10 at whatever he wants in right. Dewey Evans. Connie Lansford's at third. Don't forget, he played 2 years for the Red Sox until some kid by the name of Boggs knocked him out. Glenn Hoffman is your shortstop. He's a 6. Jerry Remy is a healthy 5, and Dave Stapleton is a 6 at first, with Gary Allenson behind the plate. He's a 5 and an 8. And so thanks for everyone. Wow, I got 6 of you. Thanks for everything. For joining. Jake, it's good to see you. Beatles, welcome back to the States. Mr. Sports Time Machine, always a pleasure. Hopefully I got everybody. And if you're set, we're set. Chuck Rainey takes his warm-up tosses. And Ron LaFleur steps in. A slow start for Mr. Ron. 2 for 14, 143 on the air. With a strikeout and 2 runs scored. Rainey delivers. And it's ball 4. So 4 pitches up and away. And LaFleur leads off at first. Here's Bernazard, 4-17. No homers or RBI yet. So the first, LaFleur is out. They picked him off. I couldn't find a picture of Fenway I wanted, so this is the default, but it covers up the runner at first. And so Rainey went to throw the pickoff throw, and it got him. Hoffman with a tag. So he was going, and Stapleton threw to Hoffman. So scored a pickoff, 3-6. But this is not a real game. Please don't score at home with yourself. It's just not very nice. Here's Tony Bernazard. He's 5 for 12 on the year with no homers or RBIs. He does have a double and 4 runs scored. So Rainey gets a reprieve here. Rice, by the way, is a 6 with a 5-arm in left, and I believe I saw Dwight Evans has an 8-arm to go with that 10. Bernazard strikes out. 2-2. He looked for strike 3, and Rainey, who later was at least moderately successful for the Cubs, has 2 quick out here after the walk. Here's Steve Kemp, 571, 8 for 14 on the short year with 4 doubles and 3 RBI. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. So no one's actually hit a ball yet, and Kemp took one high and tight on a 3-1 count. So here's Greg Luzinski, 273, 3, 4, 11 with 2 doubles and an RBI. So Rainey has walked 2, had a runner picked off, and struck out 1. Here's the pitch. Luzinski foul tips that one off of Allenson's mask, and it's 0-2. Rainey delivers again. Got him! He swung on a bad pitch. So no runs, no hits, no errors. The Red Sox work around the walks after a half inning. Chicago nothing. Here come the Red Sox. And it's Steve Trout on the hill for Chicago, his first start of the year. 6-9 in real life with a 4.26 ERA. 120 in the third innings, 130 hits, 9 home runs. He walked 50 and struck out 62. Seen here with the White Sox, he did pitch for the Chicago Cubs, and yes, Steve Lake caught him to make the battery Trout or Lake and Trout. So defensively for the White Sox, it's Kemp in left, LaFleur a 4 and an 8 in center, Baines a 7. I think he had a pretty good arm. Around the infield, Morrison a 3 at third, Allman a 7 at short, Tony Bernazard a 6 at second, Pachort a 5 at first, and Carlton Fisk. And you know that Fisk loved to catch at Fenway Park. Any chance to get at the Red Sox management was in Carlton Fisk's favor. He's an 8 with a 6 arm. Beatles eternally going out on a limb here on that prediction that the Sox will win. Kind of like, what's your favorite wine, white or red? The lineup for Boston, Jerry Remy leads off and will play second base. You know that. Dwight Evans bats second. Jim Rice, well, this is with a lefty on the mound, all sorts of righties. Jim Rice will bat third. Carney Lansford will clean up. Dave Stapleton will bat fifth. Glenn Hoffman will bat sixth. Tony Perez, the DH. He was here for 3 years in Boston. Gary Allenson will catch, and Rick Miller, the center fielder, the other lefty in the lineup, will bat ninth, and Rainey survives 17 pitches. And so Remy is 1 for 4 with a run scored on the year. 280 hitter in real life, and he could still at some speed. He stole 16 bases. So Trout's ready, and so is Fisk, and Remy rips one to second. Bernazard over to Pachort for the out. Kemp is a 6-2 in left, and Baines is a 7 and 8 in right. And none of these Red Sox are going to steal. So here's Dwight Evans, 286, 4 for 14. Had a tremendous 81. He actually was 1 of 4 to lead the American League in home runs. And so he has a triple and 3 round trippers in the first 4 games this year. Trout delivers. Here's the pitch. Got him. An 0-2 pitch. He chased out of the zone. And Evans struck out. Brings up Jim Rice. Any mentions of 6-4-3 get you banned when it comes to Jim Rice. Jimmy at 3 for 15 on the year. That's 200. Hit 24 home runs on the regular season, on the real year. Pitch from Trout. Rice up the middle. Bernazard makes a fantastic diving stop over to Pachort to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 1, it's the White Sox nothing, the Red Sox nothing. Selby Pachort, Baines, and Fisk. And you gotta love April. Pachoric is 7 for 10 out of the gate with 3 doubles and a home run, 7 RBI. There are softball legends who look at those numbers and weep. What's Rainey do? Struck him out. A 3-2 cutter swung on and missed for strike 3, and so Rainey has faced 5 batters, and the White Sox have yet to put a ball in play. Here's Harold Reynolds. 1 for 12, Hall of Fame numbers for sure. That one hit, though, was a solo home run, and I believe the first game of that doubleheader against the Yankees. Rainey deals. There's one that's finally hit. Right center, Miller will watch it bounce off the wall in the triangle, so Baines is on with a double. That wall is, 16 feet, so it wasn't ever going to go, but it did rattle off the iron out there, and the White Sox had their first hit. And then I'll bring up Carlton Fisk. Pudge is 1 for 6 with a double and 2 RBI. Pitch from Rainey. Fisk draws a walk. Glances up at Haywood Sullivan and smiles. So another full count for Chuck Rainey, who's already at 33 pitches through 7 batters. Here's Jim Morrison, 2 for 11, 182 average with 4 RBI. Runners on first and second. Here's the pitch. Morrison, fly ball to left. Rice goes over to left center and makes the catch for the second out. So Fisk and Stapleton are having a conversation. Dave is kind of cowering in fear. Billy Allman's 1 for 10 on the year. He has a single and a stolen base. Rainey's pitch. Ground ball to second. Remy to Stapleton, and that retires the side. So the White Sox get a hit, but no runs and no errors. After an inning and a half, it's the White Sox nothing, the Red Sox nothing. Hello, Al. How are you? Seth, I mean. And Seth is right, as F.P. Santarcangelo would say. No, that's my cousin. Or aunt, I'm sorry. As F.P. would say in the Nats games, there goes a no-hitter. Carney Lansford is off to a slow start. 1 for 15 on the year with a 0.67 batting average. That's the bad news. The good news is he would hit .301. But the bad news for Lansford, that wasn't enough to keep him in Boston. Pitch from Trout. Ball 4. Carney would have a tremendous career. He laid off a full count pitch, by the way, outside. Carney, or I called him Carnage in college, would have a tremendous run with the Oakland A's in the late 80s and early 90s. A critical part of that club. Here's Dave Stapleton, 4 for 13 on the year with a homer and 3 RBI. Trout delivers and Stapleton walks. So that's the second walk in a row by Trout. There's a Laura Branigan song about self-control, wasn't there? Well, we're not seeing a lot of it right now from anybody. Here's Glenn Hoffman, 0.71. And that's pretty much par for the course for him. But that one hit was a solo home run. Trout delivers. Hoffman walks. And so Trout has loaded him up. 3-2 curve, just a bit outside. And so this one screams bullpen run out of the gate. Nobody out for Tony Perez. Tony 0 for 8 on the year with 2 strikeouts. At 260, 6 home runs and 31 RBI, and I believe he was exclusively a DH for Boston this year. Pitch from Trout. Ground ball to short. Allman to Bernazard for 1. Over to Pachorik. Perez is about as fast as I am. Lansford will score, and it is a double play. So 6-4-3, but the Red Sox get on the board without a base hit. Brings up the catcher, Gary Allenson. Slow start for him, 0 for 7 and 3 strikeouts. Trout's pitch. Allenson popped up left side. Kemp, foul. There's just no foul territory at Fenway. And the count goes to 0-2. Let's see if Trout loses him, boys and girls. Here's the pitch. Ground ball to second. Bernazard over to Pachorik. And that retires the side. Not before the Red Sox get a run on no hits and no errors. After 2, Boston 1, Chicago nothing. Can't hear a word, so bear with me. Couldn't get the game to duplicate. Had to play a card 7-0 on an inside the pitch grand slam. One of your... Oh. Glenn Hoffman looks like Ryan Zimmerman. Yeah, I could see that. Hoffman's been a very successful coach over the year for the the Dodgers and the Padres. Ron LaFleur, oh God, so Rainey has pitched to 9 batters, 39 pitches, so efficient. Somehow he's gotten 2 innings out of it, but he's given up 1 hit, walked 3, and struck out 3. LaFleur walked and stole and was picked off his first time up. Rainey's pitch, LaFleur walks again. So a 3-2 fastball was outside and low. And Clinton, who does a lot of good baseball on his channel, might do a 69 or a 21 or 29 or a 61 game tonight. He pretty much uses Digital Diamond, which is a very good game as well. Throw to first. LaFleur is back safely. So now we worry about Bernazard. Tony's 0 for 1. He struck out. Pitch from Rainey. There's a bunt that throw to second, and everybody's safe. In fact, Allenson had it, and the throw goes into center field. Caught everybody by surprise, including me, and Allenson. He's an average fielder, and he just kind of gunned it, trying to think he could get to Speedy LaFleur, and sometimes the best choice is just to eat it. And so that's an error for the Red Sox. Let's watch it again. Allenson had it, and he just overthrew Hoffman. LaFleur, despite his speed, does not advance. The White Sox have runners on first and second. They trail 1-0 here in the third. Kemp walked his first time up, his first walk of the year. Pitch from Rainey. Fly ball, right center field. Miller moves over and makes the catch. Makes a diving catch, as a matter of fact. So a good play from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a center fielder and less. And that brings up Greg Luzinski, who struck out his first time up. Already has 6 in 12 at-bats. Pitch from Rainey. The runner goes to third. They don't get him. It's a steal for LaFleur, and Bernazard goes for the double steal. And so Allenson went for the better runner at third, and it was not in time. So a double steal for the White Sox. And an 0-1 count to Greg Luzinski. It's from Rainey. Right back to Chuck. Over to Stapleton for the out. LaFleur will hold. And so there's 2 outs. So the White Sox aggressive. And I'm glad to see the AI actually being aggressive on the bases. Something that hasn't been the case in previous versions of Action PC Baseball. But LaFleur should have tried to score here. Here's Tom Pachork. He struck out his first time up. So runners on first and second, 2 out. 1-0 Red Sox, top the third. Pitch from Rainey. Pachork strikes out again. He swung on a 1-2 pitch, and the White Sox go down. It's like watching a Red Sox game from the early 80s. No runs, no hits, and 1 error. That error was on Allenson after 2.5. Boston 1, Chicago 0. Through 3 innings, the White Sox have stranded 5 and only have 1 hit. So let's see. Hi to Michael Dabrowski. Grading papers and listen to me call a ball game. Oh, that's awful sweet of you. Make sure you give them a couple points. Clinton's watching this like a silent movie. Okay, so I should go on screen and just make lots of noises, right? So glad to have you all with us. Be Rick Miller, who is 3 for 10 on the year. Run into a double play. Trout can't believe he's on the wrong side of a 1-0 score. Here's the pitch. Miller. Ground ball to Pachork. Takes it to the bag at first for the first out. So Trout, through 9 batters, has thrown 2 1/3 innings. 40 pitches, a 3.86 ERA. He has walked 3. Walked him loaded, and it cost him a run in the second. And struck out 1. Jerry Remy is 0 for 1, and no, I'm not going to bunt him. Pitch from Trout, and Remy swings and misses strike 3 on an 0-2 fastball. So that's 2 for Trout, and that brings up Dwight Evans, who was the other strikeout victim. Steve delivers, and Dewey swings and misses strike 3. No runs, no hits, no errors. Trout fans 2. After 3, Boston 1, Chicago 0. So it'll be Harold Baines, Carlton Fisk, and Jim Morrison. Baines doubled his first time up, the only hit in the ball game so far from either team as we start the 4th. And Katz, against the ethical treatment of Red Sox players, is protesting at the door. Pitch to Harold. Fly ball left center. Back goes Rice to the wall. He makes the catch against the wall. The wind's blowing out the center at 17, but it kind of fell off a cliff there, and Rice was able to snag it. Here comes Pudge. He walked his first time up. Digs in. Rainey delivers. Fly ball to left. Rice should have it. Does have it. 2 out. Again, Rainey's not throwing strikes. He's already at 66 pitches. But He's 4 outs away from a possible win. And as you know from the Red Sox from that area, you take it any way you can get it. Jim Morrison's 0 for 1. Flew out to Rick Miller, his first time up. Ground ball to Remy at second. To Stapleton, and out retires the side. Rainey has a clean inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 3.5, it's the Red Sox 1, the White Sox nothing. Rice, Lansford, and Stapleton for Boston here in the fourth. 0 for 2 in 2 cases, not a good start. Nope. So Jim Ed is 0 for 1 today. Trout delivers, and Rice hits this one into left center. That's a base hit. He'll hold at first, and that brings up Carney Lansford. Carnage walked his first time up and scored. And there goes everyone's no-hitter. First hit for Boston in the bottom of the fourth. Trout's pitch, Lansford, ground ball, liner up the middle, base hit. Rice will hold at second. You don't run into the first out, you don't run into the last out. And Ron LaFleur has a good arm. So runners on first and second for Boston. And it'll be Dave Stapleton who walked his first time up. Pitch from Trout. Stapleton up the middle. Trout's only play is to Paciorek at first. And he is out. So Lansford had some speed, and the Red Sox don't ground into a double play. Brings up Glenn Hoffman, who walked his first time up. But Lansford on second, Rice on third. A single would score, I would think would score 2. 1 out, bottom of the fourth. 1-0 Red Sox. Pitch from Trout. Hoffman looks at an 0-2 pitch at the knees for strike 3. This wouldn't be a Red Sox game without 80 gazillion runners stranded. Tony Perez grounded into a double play his first time up. Pitch from Trout. Perez, fly ball to left. Kemp steps back, makes the catch, and the Red Sox strand 2. Of course they do. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. Trout works out of it. After 4, Red Sox 1, White Sox nothing. No, there's a shift, Seth. There's a shift. You can do that. I don't do it. I don't like it. But there's a shift. I think I have it shut off, but they were shifting back in the 40s. You know, they shifted against Ted Williams. I got to be careful how I say that, or I lose my G rating. But for heavy lefty hitters that did nothing but pull the ball, oh, sure there was a shift. There were shifts in the 80s, too. But you would traditionally see him against left-handed hitters. Bill Allman's 0 for 1. And Rainey delivers. Ground ball to third. Lansford over to Stapleton. I don't like theft either, Seth, but that happens. Through 18 batters, somehow Chuck Rainey has survived 4 1/3 innings. He's only given up 1 hit, but he's walked 4 and struck out 4. 72 pitches. Ralph Houck will take this. 4 1/3 innings and no runs. Lou Boudreau shifted against Ted, as Michael Dobreski says. Ted hated it. Thought it was a gimmick, and Ted was right. I think Connie Mack did a bunch of shifting, too. It's very clever and very frustrating and very gimmicky. And I lose my writing credentials for using bearing in 5 sentences in a row. LaFleur has walked twice. He has a stolen base and was picked off. Rainey delivers, and there's a legitimate base hit to left center. LaFleur will hold. 1 out for Bernazard. Tony is 0 for 1. He has struck out and reached on a bunt, sack bunt. Throw to first. LaFleur is back. Pitch to Bernazard, and that's another bunt, Ronnie, and it's foul. So I'm talking about the bunt and forgot to play in at the corners. Isn't that nice? 0-2 the count to Bernazard. He'll swing here. But just in case, Stapleton and Lansford play about come down the line. Rainey delivers. There goes LaFleur. Throw to Hoffman, and LaFleur has it stolen. And so it's strike 3. It's a strikeout. That's the 5th for Rainey. So Bernazard strikes out, and LaFleur steals second. That's a page right out of the Terry Francona handbook. So Steve Kemp, 0 for 1 with a walk, comes up 2 out, 1-0 Red Sox here in the fifth, top of the fifth. Pitch from Rainey. Kemp, little liner to Hoffman, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, and no errors. And sure, Chuck Rainey is holding the White Sox off the scoreboard. Halfway home at the Fens, 1-0 Red Sox. Michael says Ted did beat the shift. Hit an inside the park home run to clinch the 46 pennant at League Park, as a matter of fact. The game was in Cleveland, but it wasn't at Municipal. So Trout will face Allenson, Miller, and Remy. Gary's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Fly ball right center. LaFleur has it. 1 out. Rick Miller, the batter. Rick is 0 for 1. 1-0 Red Sox, bottom of the fifth. Here's the pitch. There's a base hit off to Morrison. No, is that an error? It is. It was a ground ball to third, and Morrison hit the back of his glove. And so Miller will reach and score that in E5. So both teams have an error. And so Trout now through 18 batters, 74 pitches, 4 1/3 innings, 2 hits. 1 run it was earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 4. And here comes Jerry Remy, who says, well, if you guys are going to bunt and not play, and they're playing normal, I am. Remy lays down the sack bunt. Fisk's only play is to Bernazard, hovering first, and it works. Score it 2-4. And Miller's on second. Yes, a sacrifice in an American League game. 2, as a matter of fact. Brings up Dwight Evans, who hasn't lifted the bat off the shoulders yet. 0 for 2. Pitch from Trout. Dewey. Ground ball up the middle. Allman with a good stop. Over to Pachort for the out. Allman raced over by the bag at second to retire the side. No runs, no hits, and 1 error. After 5, it's still Boston 1, Chicago nothing. And so Chuck Rainey gets the fatigue warning. Ralph Houck has got to be thrilled to get 5 scoreless out of him. Luzinski, Pachorik, and Baines. For the White Sox, Rice, Lansford, and Stapleton coming up for Boston. Pitch to the bull. Ball 4. Well, the leash here will be short. 5 walks for Rainey. Full count was low. And, of course, Luzinski's not going anywhere. Pachorik is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. Pitch from Rainey. Got him again. He swung and missed at a 2-2, and Pachorik gets the golden sombrero. 6 strikeouts for Rainey, and 1 out for Baines, who is 1 for 2. He's flown out and doubled. Not necessarily in that order. Pitch from Rainey. Baines hits this one in the left center, and Miller has it. 2 out. So Rainey at 100 pitches. This Red Sox pen, by the way, is very good. Kind of strange to say that, but in 82 it was quite good. The starters weren't very good, including Mr. Rainey, but he is probably 1 out away from throwing 6 scoreless and calling it an afternoon. Here's Fisk. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Rainey delivers, and there's a liner in the left center that's going to fall for a base hit. So 2 on and 2 out for Jim Morrison, who's 0 for 2. Luzinski, the tying run on second. Fisk, the go-ahead run on first. Rainey delivers, and there's a ground ball up the middle, right back to Rainey, who throws it over to Stapleton to retire the side. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. After 5.5, that's going to be it for Rainey. He leaves with a chance to win. Boston 1, Chicago nothing. And so the White Sox have stranded 8 through 6. Here's Jim Rice. He's 1 for 2. He's got a single and a ground out to second. Lansford on deck. Pitch from Trout. Rice right through Pachorik's wickets. Will reach on, going to go to second on the air. How about that? It hit off the back of Pachorik's gloves and rolled right into right field, and Baines picked it up. So give Pachorik an error and put Jimmy Rice on second for Lansford, who has walked, singled, and scored. The lone run of the game in the second inning. Trout's pitch. Lansford, ground ball to short. Allman over to Pachorik for the out, and Rice will hold right there. 1 out. Brings up Dave Stapleton. He is walked and grounded out to the pitcher. Pitch from Trout. Ground ball to short again. Allman over to first. It's a bang-bang play. Safe. He beat it out. Stapleton gets the rare infield hit. And Rice thought they were going to get him, so he holds. So runners on first and second for Glenn Hoffman, who is walked and struck out. He's 0 for 1. And so the Red Sox have something cooking here in the 6th. Fisk goes out to talk to Trout. The pitch, Hoffman, ground ball to third. Morrison to Bernazard for 1. And over to Pachorik. Not in time. Hoffman beat it out. So they get a fielder's choice. Score it 5-4. But the runner beats it out. So Rice is on third. And Hoffman is on first. That brings up Perez is 0 for 2. So here's a chance to give the Red Sox a big run. Trout delivers. Perez hits a ground ball to Morrison. Over to Bernazard for the force. And the side is out. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 error. So typical for the Red Sox. After 6, it's Boston 1, Chicago nothing. And that'll do it for Rainey. And I have a lot of options here. Righty, switchy. And so Bob Stanley, who threw a whopping 100... Oh, no, he has an outing already. 168 1/3 innings out of the bullpen, comes in. And against Baltimore, and this would have been Sunday, he didn't pitch all that well. 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits allowed, 2 runs, both of them earned. He's good for 55 pitches. If that works well, he and Mark Claire are on for a 9-inning, to get 3 scoreless innings here. Bill Allman's 0 for 2. Stanley struck out 83 in 168 1/3 innings. And the Palm Ball Express is ball 4. So Allman walks on a full count. Of course he does. And that puts the tying run on base for Ron LaFleur, who has walked twice and singled and stolen 2 bases. Stanley. He delivers. And there's a line drive base hit into left center field. Allman will hold at second. LaFleur on first, and so Stanley has yet to retire anybody. Brings up Tony Bernazard. Stapleton and Lansford come in for the bunt. Stanley delivers, and there's a ground ball to Hoffman. To Remy for 1, to Stapleton. Not in time, first and third. So the Palm worked that time. They got the ground ball, but they could not turn it. Bernazard is fast down the line, and he just simply beat it out. So 1 out. Allman on third. Kemp at the plate. Steve is 0 for 2 with a walk. Line to short, flew to right center. And Boston will take 2 here. Pitch from Stanley. There goes Bernazard to throw down to Hoffman, is not in time. And so that's 3 steals for the White Sox this afternoon. 63 degrees. Now that wind is blowing out to Dewey, Evans, and Wright. And with Luzinski on deck, they're going to load the bases. Yeah. He is. So they're loaded for the Luzinski, who's 0 for 2. He's got power, but he's slow. So a ground ball likely gets the Red Sox out of the inning. Stanley delivers, and there's a ground ball to Stapleton. They're going to try for 2. Hoffman for 1. Down to Stapleton. not in time. Allman scores, and we're tied at 1. And yep, this is Boston Red Sox early 80s baseball just like we remember. Here's Pachork. He has struck out all 3 times today. 1-1 in the 7th. Pachork makes it 2-1. Chicago into center field. He rounds first. He's got a double. And so Stanley has steamed himself out of a save and now is looking at a loss. 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, and he's walked 2. One of those was intentional. Brings up Harold Baines, 1 for 3 with a double. Here's the pitch. Got him. He looked at strike 3. Kevin Hickey's coming in for Steve Trout. Trout can win it. He cannot lose it. So Trout goes 6 innings, 3 hits, a run it was earned. Walked 3 and struck out 4. Rainey, 6 innings of shutout ball, but his arm was toast. 3 hits, walked 5 and struck out 6. And you can see the wonderful job by Bob Stanley there in the 7th. And so it's Allenson, Miller, and Remy against the lefty Hickey. Kevin, an inning and 2/3 with a hit and walk 2. And that was against the Yankees on their opening day of that doubleheader. So he hasn't pitched since then, and I forget which game he pitched in. Allenson, ground ball base hit up the middle. So the tying run is on for the Red Sox already for Rick Miller, who was 0 for 2. Barojas is the White Sox fireman, and I'm sure he's starting to stir. Hickey delivers. Miller, ground ball to Bernazard. To Allman for 1. To Pachork, I don't believe so. No, sir, he's safe. So here's Jerry Remy, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. A ground out to second and a sacrifice in the 5th. This time he's going to hit. Pitch from Hickey. And there's a base hit right center field. Miller holds at second. That was a sharp hit ball to right center, and Miller just didn't, the odds weren't there. You don't run yourself out. So here's Evans. Dwight is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Already has 3 home runs on the year. Hickey delivers, and that's a base hit up the middle. Miller will hold at third, yes. Only a 48% chance, and there's 1 out. So Evans is a single, and the bases are loaded. Miller on third, Remy on second, and Evans on first. 2-1 Chicago, 1 out, bottom of the 7th. Rice is 1 for 3. That hit was a single. Here's the pitch. Rice up to the right side. Base hit. Miller scores. Here comes Remy. Baines has a good arm. Throw to Fisk. In time. They got it. So Fisk tags out Remy. And we're tied at 2. Miller scored. Remy could not. And so there's runners on first and second on the Rice single. But Remy was thrown out by a good arm, good throw by Baines. So here's Lansford, 1 for 2, with a run scored, a single and a walk. So Hickey blows the save. Lansford, ground ball to third. Morrison with a diving stop throw to Bernazard to retire the side. A run on 4 hits and no errors. They did get 1. They've shredded 8 so far, but they did get 1. After 7, White 2, Red 2. Oh, tell me what you're doing, baseball demos. I want to hear about it. So Stanley gets the fatigue warning. You know, I hear that Bob Stanley is just a wonderful human being. But it's innings like that when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, and I was 10 all through this season, that made me have an unfortunate, unnatural hatred for Bob Stanley that I feature for Ohio State and Notre Dame. I've forgiven Stanley, of course, over the years, but as a kid, I just couldn't stand him. He could never throw hard and was all over the place. And that inning was the reason why. Today, I'm delighted. He's a good ambassador for the Red Sox. He stayed in the game after his career. Like I said, by all accounts, a very good guy. But to this preteen, all right, Carlton Fisk 1 for 2 with a walk and a single. Stanley delivers, and Fisk hits this one into left center. Back goes Rice to the track. He'll turn and watch it go. And so the Red Sox fall down 3-2. Carlton Fisk does a slow trot around the bases as that one finds the screen in left center. So the White Sox lead at 3-2. Here's Jim Morrison, who's 0 for 3. Pitch from Stanley. And Morrison lashes that one into right field for a base hit. And so Rudy Law will run for Jim Morrison. And I'm yanking Bob Stanley faster than a father does to his daughter at a dance. And we're going to go with, Mark Clear. Clear has only thrown 1 inning this year, and that was in that doubleheader on opening day for them against Baltimore. He walked 1 and struck out 3. No ERA, 14-9 on the real year with 14 saves, and an ERA of 3. But you'll notice he walked 61 and struck out 109. He throws hard, but he doesn't necessarily throw strikes. Billy Allman is 0 for 2. Allman, not D. And he has walked once and scored. Pitch from Clear. There goes Law. Throw to second in time. So Allenson throws him out trying to steal, and there's 1 out. So Chuck Rainey won't get anything out of this except for some experience. It's a bullpen game now. Hickey in line for the win. Stanley for the loss. 1-0 to Allman. And that is... it's catcher interference. Are you kidding me? He missed, but the bat hit Allenson's glove. Don't ask me to show that again. And so Allman gets on with catcher's interference. And no, that's not Larry Barnett behind the plate. Brings up Ron LaFleur, who was walked twice, singled twice, stolen 2 bases. If your lucky number is 2, Ron LaFleur has bought you a lottery ticket. Pitch from Clear. Allman goes. Throw down to Remy, not in time. And so they are stealing left and right. And so Allman goes to second. And you're not walking LaFleur. Pitch to Clear. Nope. He swings and misses on a 1-2 fastball at 97 for the strikeout. So here's Bernazard, who has also stolen 2 bases today. He's 0 for 3. Has 2 stolen bases in a run. And 2 strikeouts. Well, how'd he do that? Well, he reached on a sacrifice in the 3rd, and he reached on a fielder's choice in the 7th. Pitch from Clear. Liner right to Hoffman, and that retires the side. 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 error. The home run by Fisk puts the White Sox up 3-2. I missed it. What Baseball Demos did. Yeah, breaking those doors down. Michael Dabrowski has 2 projects. 39 and beyond an alternative history with free agency and an amateur draft. Awesome. RetroBaseball.net. Absolutely. Sports team was 9 in 77. And he was 22. In 77, I was 5. And I missed Baseball's Time Machines project. Where is this being listed? This is the most people have watched anything live in my entire life. Hold on 1 second while I try to go scroll back through the chat. Oh! 77 Stratomatic All Chicago replay. Someone did one of those on one of the on the tabletop boards, and that's awesome because they both were good that year. Yep, yes, Sports Time Machine. That is an Ed Armbruster reference. Very good. I went to my first ball game in 1977, and if Al does more of that Mets replay, he's going to get to it. So keep that in mind, Mr. Sport Red Sox fan. All right, we go to the bottom of the eighth, 3-2 Chicago. It'll be Stapleton, Hoffman, and Perez for the Red Sox, and Dave is 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. Pitch from Kevin Hickey is a ground ball to Allman. Over to Pachorik for the first out. Rodriguez is at third. Aurelio Rodriguez. And he's a 9 there. Glenn Hoffman is 0 for 2. He has walked and struck out. Hickey in line to win it. Stanley in line to lose it. Pitch from Kevin is a foul ball. Oh! We get back-to-back catcher's interference. Someone needs to shuffle the rear play deck, okay? So that hit Fisk on the mitt, and Fisk turns and I'm surprised he didn't get thrown out. It's not Larry Barnett again behind the plate, but Carlton just called him that 3 times. And that trigger finger came close, but no cigar. So runner on first for Perez, who is grounded into a double play. He's 1 for 3. And Fisk and Hickey go out there to calm down. Pitch from Kevin. Perez, ground ball to third. Rodriguez to Bernazard for 1 to Pachorik, and of course, it's a double play. No runs, no hits, 1 error. After 8, it's the White Sox 3, the Red Sox 2. Yeah, hold your breath. Hold your breath. Yep, nightmares around the way, huh? So 3-2 White Sox. We head to the 9th. Clear had a good year in 82, guys. 14-9, 14 saves, an ERA of 3, 105 innings, 92 hits, including 11 home runs. He walked 61 and struck out 109. But remember, it was Stanley that is in line for the loss. Kemp is 0 for 2 with 2 walks. Pitch from Clear, fly ball to left. Rice comes in and drops it. Kemp is going for 2, and the throw is not in time. So a 2-base error for Rice. Really? How the hell did this team win 89 games? Tell me, how do they win 89 games? This team is a serious contender for the American League East. I don't get it. And yes, I flipped it back to the ballgame. So that brings up Luzinski. Both teams have 3 errors. 3 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors for the White Sox. They've stranded 11 so far. The Red Sox, 2 runs on 7 hits and 3 errors. And they've stranded 8. Luzinski is 0 for 3. He has an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout. Pitch from Clear. Luzinski up the middle, base hit. Kemp will hold at third. And that brings up Tom Pachorik, who's 1 for 4. He has struck out 3 times and doubled. The pitch. Liner. Miller has it. He's going to uncork one home. The throw is not in time, but it was a mediocre throw. He had a 2% chance of getting him. It's 4-2 Chicago. And the Red Sox are on the verge of going 0-5. It is Allenson, I doubt it, Miller, and Remy due up for Boston in the bottom of the 9th. Harold Baines is 1 for 4. He has doubled and struck out, amongst other things. Luzinski goes, are you kidding? And he's safe. If this was a card and dice game, Mark Clear's hold rating has got to be +9. So Luzinski goes to second on an 0-1 count to Harold Baines. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. Never fear the strikeouts here. 0-2 was late called strike 3, and there's 2 out. And Beetle says, remember when I said the Sox would win? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yes. So here's Carlton Fisk, who's 2 for 3. His home run put the White Sox up, or the Shy Sox up, 3-2 in the 8th. Pitch from clear. Fisk, fly ball to left. Rice should have this, and the inning is over. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. And Disco Riot night? I don't think so. So it'll be Gary Allenson. No, it won't. Not in. Oh, yes, it will, because Gedman can't hit him either. So Gary Allenson will start us off. Red Sox 2 to tie, 3 to win. Hickey delivers. Allenson, ground ball to Bernazard. Over to Pachort. 1 out for Rick Miller. And a huge hand at Fenway for Carl Yastrzemski. He is 4 for 15 on the year, hitting .267. And so the big ear hole flapping around right so the center field camera can see it, hoping that Hickey is tiring. Here's the pitch. He draws a walk. And so Carl is on. And I can't get to Yaz. So the tying run is at the plate for Remy. 1 for 3 with a strikeout. Hickey delivers. Ball 4. And so now the winning run, the tying run, is on base. Barojas is in to face Evans. And Yastrzemski gets a huge hand as Julio Valdez comes in to run. So Valdez is in to run. Evans is 1 for 4. He has struck out twice. Rice on deck. And if the game should get past there, Carney Lansford. The Shy Sox guard the lines. Rodriguez and Pachork hugging him. Pitch from Barojas. Struck him out. And so I forgot to tell you that Barojas has pitched twice. He's pitched once in the series. He got the save Monday, throwing an inning in the third of scoreless ball. And he got the win in one of the games in New York, an inning in the third and 2 hits. And so it's 2 out, 2 on for Jim Rice, who is 2 for 4 with 2 singles and an RBI. He is the winning run at the plate. And he does have 24 home runs in his real-life dance card. Barojas is ready. Here's the pitch. Fly ball. Center field. LaFleur goes back. That's off the wall. Valdez will score. Remy will score. And Rice will score to win the game. Rice wins it. He walked it off. It just crept over the wall. Boston 5, Chicago 4. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I can't show the replay, I don't think. That did not look gone. I'm looking at, you can see it on the video chalkboard. It looked like that should have been a double. But it's we'll call it an inside the park home run. Let's just say that LaFleur was late getting to it, and Rice just had a full head of steam. And by the time he stopped, he can walk it off. The Red Sox pull this one out of their tushies, 5-4. Expect the unexpected. Jim Rice goes 3 for 5 with 4 RBI. And that's why we love baseball. It had to have been an inside the park. And yeah, he was obviously a +9 strat. Rice Arani, I like that. And Jim Ed is my favorite player of all time. Favorite player of all time. Cried when he made the Hall of Fame. Unbelievable. Yeah, that had to have been an inside the park home run. Thank you guys for there. The post game show will be real quick. The Red Sox got up 1-0. Tony Perez on a fielder's choice made it 1-0, and then the White Sox sent 7 to the plate in the 7th. Rick Luzinski tied it on a grounder, and then Pachorik doubled to make it 2-1. Then Rice scored Miller on a single to tie the game at 2. Then Carlton Fisk lit off the 8th with a solo shot. Tom Pachorik hit a liner to score Kemp to make it 4-2 in the 9th. And you just saw how it ended. Jim Rice, a 3-run shot inside the park in the triangle to make it 5-4. So Mark Clear gets the win. 2 innings a hit, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Barojas gets the loss. A third of an inning, 1 earned run. And he goes to 1-1 on the year. The Red Sox win this one, incredibly so, 5-4. Remember, tomorrow night, the championship of our Pro Football Replay 78. Steelers and Cowboys, pregame 6:45. We'll kick it at 7. Guys, this was the most watched live stream I've ever had. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. Till then, have a good one.